Hey guys, it's your boy, Ballface8020, back again with another great commentary, another great astrological prediction. So you guys, if you followed my work, you maybe have noticed that I haven't done a sports astrology video in a long time. And part of that's because I don't have the screen sharing software anymore, so I can't show the charts. But part of it is because, we're going to have to dial back a little bit, is that when it comes to sports astrology, if you go and research it, there's two popular or popularized methods out there. One is the Frawley method from John Frawley, who wrote a book published in 2006 called Sports Astrology. The other is the method that, which is actually, I guess you saw method or collection of method that Simon Choikoisky, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, laid out in The Gambler's Dharma, which was written in 2014 or 2015, I'm not sure. So I've, familiar with both of these books. I've tried both of these methods. I haven't been able to put a lot of Choikoisky stuff is too complex for me to attempt, but I've done his the more basic stuff. And Frawley's method, once you get used to it, it can be somewhat complex, but you figure it out. It's maybe there's some complexity there, but it's not too. There's nothing in it that you can't understand. So I had mixed results with it. Did have some success with each of them at times, and then not so much at others. I don't have the raw data, okay, here for either of these methods. From what I've seen, not just my experience, but when I try to go back and do the numbers, from what I've seen, they don't work. The methods do not work. I've had people call me out back then when I was talking about it, oh, you're delusional, this is bullshit, it's not going to work. Well, astrology is definitely not bullshit. That's not even opinion. Denying astrology is like denying gravity, so I'm not even going to deal with that. But those of you who called me out about the sports astrology were correct. When Frawley does the horary astrology, that may be legit. Horary is when you just ask the universe a question, but it's got to be done the right way, and it's got to be for something where you've got a real investment in the answer, and then you have to have the horary moment. So I can't just go and I can't just go and ask the universe now, are the Vikings going to beat the Chargers? Because I've got no standing there. I don't care. I've got no standing. I don't care. The only reason I'd be asking the question is for the purpose of, am I getting the answer right? But I don't actually care about the answer. But if it was something trying to trying to think of something here, if something well, this would be am I going to get that job that I just applied for? Am I going to, are they going to hire me? That would be something you could do a horary question for. Now you could do it let's say let's say there's a team that I don't like the Lions, for instance, and they're and I guess I don't know if I can do it with there's a team I don't like the Lions, and then they're playing some other team, and I really want the Lions to lose, and then it occurs to me hey, you should do an horary chart. Well, that means then yes, okay, right there I go say, okay, I'm here in I'm not going to say the name of the city, but near Detroit, Michigan, at this time, at this day, let's do the chart and then cast it based on that question. See, that you could do it for. So Frawley teaches that method too. He may be right with that one. I don't know. I've had mixed, or sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You got to, I don't know. I don't know. But the thing is, but when it comes to what he calls an event chart, when you're just saying, okay, the game is in Los Angeles, this day at this time, which team wins? I think his method doesn't work. Simon Choikoisky, same thing, his event charts, I think they don't work. I don't have the data, but I think that they don't work. I know I'm not the only person. You can go online and there's people saying that they've lost tons of money trying to do it, do it the way these guys say to do it. But I was never really satisfied with just saying it doesn't work because, like I said, I know astrology works, and it doesn't just work for humans' birth dates. It works for other stuff too, because that's just how the universe works. And so, in the way I do astrology is more simple than most people. Like I'm very heavily influenced by this guy Vic DeCara, who, he does Vedic astrology, but he uses the tropical zodiac instead of the sidereal. And I like how he just logically breaks everything down of how he does it. So I do like a very simple method. Which my method is more simple than either Frawley's or Chikoisky's. Much more simple than Chikoisky's, and simpler than Frawley's. Anybody can learn my method. And the reason I'm even talking about it is because I've had so much success with it so far this year. And so far, I mean, for like, because there's like, there's basically, the way it works is it's not just like the method itself, it's when you use it. And this method that I've had success with, the success has exclusively been with premier exclusive type games. What I mean, like a Monday Night Football game when it's the only football game that night. Like, so for instance, if there's a night with 2 Monday Night Football games, it doesn't work. It has to be or it has to be a playoff game, like for football or something. That's American football. Some of you I know are from Europe. And so I don't know if it would work for baseball. I haven't. Basically, the only thing I've had success for yet is the NFL and Premier League soccer. So like for Premier League soccer, you can't do it like if you do like a Saturday afternoon game, what's Saturday afternoon over there, it's not going to work. It will not work. And same if you do it for a regular NFL game, it won't work. But if you do it for like the special game on Saturday, the game that's on at 5:30 England time, or if you do it on the game that's on at Sunday, if you do it like for Sunday afternoon, the charts aren't going to work. But if you do it for Sunday Night Football, as long as there's only one NFL game that night, it works, at least so far. That's why I'm putting my money where my mouth is, and I'm telling you guys these ones in advance. If they both hit, then I may do other ones. If they don't both hit, then I don't know. I'll keep you guys posted, but there's no reason to talk about it again. So you have to be judicious about when you try to apply it. And, for a long time, I was really dissatisfied with that because I was like, it just doesn't make sense. Why would it only work for like the big events and not for others? And, the thing, the more I thought about it, it's kind of like how like astrology definitely works, but it can be pretty fucked up when you're talking about twins who are born 2 minutes apart and then their lives end up dramatically different. And, I know that one way that people deal with that, is what I've seen some astrologers do is they say, well, the one twin gets this side of the chart and the other twin gets that side of the chart. So, there's, astrology may work, but there's some things in astrology, like paradoxes or whatever, that really are there, and you have to be creative to get rid of them. So, it's got to be, so where it would be perfect is for something like the Super Bowl. If you and the Super Bowls that I've gone and looked at, it's the method I'm doing now has been totally accurate. Now, another thing that comes up with these things is how do you assign which team to which? Because generally that's the way, when you're doing a sports astrology chart, I'm sure there's other ways, but generally the way people do it is one team gets the ascendant, the other team gets the descendant. And then you judge by that which side has the stronger chart. And then there's obviously a lot of different ways you could do that. Let's say you got the Chikoisky method and the Frawley method and stuff. And both Chikoisky and Frawley both say the team that is favored to win gets the ascendant, and the team that is the underdog gets the descendant. And then, so, and I disagree with that. I disagree. I don't. The other, but anyway. But another method that's really popular is they'll be like, okay, that doesn't work, but we just use the colors. Use the colors. So if it was something like the Eagles are playing the Giants, and you see the ascendant is Taurus and the descendant is Scorpio. Well, the Giants are. You look at the Giants uniforms. Presumably they're going to be wearing their dark blue. That's Scorpio. The Eagles, they're going to be wearing some kind of greenish thing. That's Taurus. So there you have it. And it's not always going to be that clear cut, but you get the idea, right? You go by the colors instead. In my experience, that doesn't work either. At least, like, these things that maybe they work if you use it with the Frawley method or something. But for me, I don't think it works for that either. But for me, definitely doesn't work with my method. So what I do is what I think is the most logical thing, which is the ascendant goes to the home team. Because if you think about it, the descendant, 7th house, well, what is the 7th house? That's the house of the other. Well, there's nothing more other than being the away team. The home team, they slept in their own bed, they're in front of their own fans. Yeah, they may be the underdog, but, that they're the ones who the gamer is about. They're hosting the game. The away team, they're the other guys. And nobody's there to see them win. They're there to see them lose. Now, granted, it can get a little more tricky, right? If there's times where, like, maybe neither team is really home. There's always going to be an official home and away team. And so what I do is I go by the official home team because that's obviously who the universe has said this game is about, even if it's not really a home game for them and nobody's going to go see them. So you can debate me on that. That's what I use. It has worked. And then so if it was something like, let's say the finals of the U.S. Open or something, nobody's really home or away there. I guess you could say, like, if there was an American, he'd be the home player. Okay, you could do that. But what I do is I just say whoever the higher seed is, because the higher seed is the one who gets, like, the honors. They're the one who gets to pick, like, whether they serve or whether they flip the coin. They get to pick which coin they want to decide who to serve or something. I don't know. But I guess it goes dicey there. But there I just use the higher seed. So yeah, and I guess for something like boxing, like a boxing championship, it would be tougher. I haven't tried to use it with that though. So, all right, so let's talk about the two games. First game, Thursday Night Football. The Vikings are going to play the Chargers. And I know I got at least one viewer who's a Vikings fan. And wait a minute, is it the Chargers or the Rams? I can't remember. I don't know. I think it might actually be I can't remember. Anyway, the Vikings are going to play one of those LA teams. And so that means in this case it works out either way, because the home team, that is whatever the Los Angeles team is favored. So either way they're going to get the ascendant. And then the Vikings are the underdog and they're the away team. So the thing is, if the line changes during the week, it doesn't matter. The chart's going to be the same because it goes by home and away. And then it's also, my method's not as sensitive towards small changes in time. So I'm assuming that the Thursday night game is going to kick off at 8:16 Detroit time. But that would be 5:16 their time. So, wait, wouldn't it? I don't know. But it definitely is going to be 5:16 their time. And So the thing is, like, maybe it's a minute less, or even 2 minutes less, or 2 minutes more. Now, if it ends up being something different, like 10 minutes or something, even then it shouldn't make too much of a difference, but it could. So don't hold me to it if the game doesn't start around then. But what you're seeing, if you look at 8-16, is a very clear chart saying the away team wins this game, and that goes by. It's got the descendant is I believe it's, I already forget. I think the descendant's Taurus, and then Venus is in Taurus right now, and it right on the ascendant. And then then in the 10th house, in the 4th house for the chart, but the 10th house from the descendant. So the away team, the Vikings, their 10th house has got Jupiter in Cancer, which is the Jupiter's exaltation. Jupiter is planet of good fortune and luck. So this is a great chart. There's no ambiguity to it. The Vikings should not just win this game, they should stomp their guts. They should stomp the guts of whatever Los Angeles team they're playing. So we'll see. Then the other game is a Friday night soccer game in the English Premier League at around 8 o'clock 8 o'clock Britain time, which is a team called Leeds is playing a team called West Ham. And West Ham, sounds like they basically stink. They're the underdog on the road. I just made some money betting against them at home today, where they were favored. But I can't remember what the chart said for this one, or how it broke down. But again, the chart. Oh yeah, you know what it was? Okay, here's this one. This one, Leeds, the home team, in their 10th house, they have Saturn in Pisces, and Saturn in the 1st and 10th is always bad unless it's in Aquarius, Capricorn, or Libra. If it's in those three, then it's good. Otherwise, it's bad. It's not and in this case, it's actually even worse because Saturn's not in detriment there, but it is in an enemy sign, so it's particularly bad. So you don't want that alone would be pretty bad. There's nothing going on in the 1st house for either team. But they've also got Rahu in the 10th house. Rahu in the 1st house is good. Rahu in the 10th house is bad. And then that obviously means Ketu is in the 10th house for West Ham. And Ketu, same thing. Ketu would be bad in the 1st house, but it's good if it's in their 10th house. So again, clear testimony, West Ham with the upset. So we'll see, that's 2 upsets. Let's see how it goes. And, I'm curious to see. These are the right kind of games. Very clear charts. Those are the only, that's the only soccer game going on that night. That's the only football game going on that night. Yeah, let's see how it goes. And then if I hit both of them, maybe I'll do some other ones on here. That's all for now. See you in the next.